In December 2014, I had a strange tingling sensation in my cheeks. Initially, we thought it might be a stroke. It progressed over a period of about 4 weeks, where I realized I couldn't eat properly and I couldn't speak. I had muscle spasms in my cheeks and in my jaw. And then I realized this was something severe.
What is Meige syndrome? It affects the face, and it affects the face in two particular areas usually, and it's around the eyes, in the eyelids and the eyebrows, where they tend to start going into spasm, and so severe eventually that those spasms starts closing the eyes. So we become blind when we're actually not blind because the eyes are closed. And then it goes down to the rest of the face, the mid-facial and the lower facial areas, the jaw, also the neck area goes into severe spasm. So much so that the person can't speak and they can't eat because there's the spasm within the mouth and in the tongue area that tends to protrude with the lips. That goes into severe tension as well. So it affects the whole face and the neck area when it's the complete Meige syndrome.
I had the hope that it would pass quickly, but soon I realized this is debilitating. I became severely isolated. I could not speak to anyone, not my husband, not my children, let alone anyone else. The condition is embarrassing as well. I became severely depressed. It was a very dark time for me and for my family.
Het jy jou huiswerk al gedoen? Okay, jy kan kom eet en dan kan jy gaan bad. Goed. Het jy alles gedoen wat jy moes? Goed, lekker slaap.
The doctor and the neurologist that I saw gave me anti-anxiety medication, and they never mentioned the word dystonia. I also did not receive any message of hope or that there would be an end to this condition.
The interesting thing about the treatment of Meige syndrome is there's no definite healing of Meige syndrome. Up to date, people have been using a combination of treatments. One of them is Botox injections, and they inject the facial muscles and around the eyelids. Another more severe one is severing of the muscles around the eyes and the face, and also nerves, and also titanium screws that are being inserted in certain of the muscles to work against the contractions of these spasms, these severe spasms. Then there's oral medication, there's an option, of course, and they also use a combination of these treatments. And then we have DBS, or deep brain stimulation, that they implant a little stimulator in the deep brain area, and that they then stimulate that part of the brain. And then supportive psychotherapy. Psychotherapy is not seen up to date as something that can actually heal Meige syndrome or facilitate the healing of Meige syndrome.
I saw a second neurologist, and he named the condition as Meige syndrome. He diagnosed it, and he then also recommended that we do Botox injections to regulate the symptoms. And it was truly the most traumatic experience in my whole life. The Botox treatment worsened the condition, and it set us back at least 3 months in treatment.
Wonderful thing about Meige syndrome is that Meige syndrome can heal. Across the world, people are suffering with this extremely disabling disorder. They become extremely depressed, they become anxious, they have suicidal intentions because of the fact that it's becoming more disabling. So the good news is Meige syndrome can heal.
I turned to Dr. Steenkamp because of absolute desperation. At that stage, I would try anything to relieve the condition or to cure it, of course. I did not hear of any success stories, neither on the internet or from doctors, so I wanted to give it a go.
We initially, because of the severity of her Meige syndrome and the emotional effect on her that was so severe, We started off with 5 hours of SHIP facilitation per week, whereas normally we do 1 hour every second week.
Like everything else today, we want, and I wanted, a quick fix. So it was difficult doing so many sessions, 3 sessions for 13 months, and not always seeing results. I had to commit, I had to come back every time. Even though it was so difficult, I couldn't speak. I had to persevere.
When we started with SHIP, we had a good week where symptoms started disappearing, and then it became more severe, which is normally the case when we work with psychodynamic processes. Initially, it is a good sign. We have an euphoric feeling, and then the hard work starts, and it shows us the potential. So initially, I saw that potential in working with Salomé, knowing that we've got a hard path in front of us, but also knowing that if it shows us that potential, that's where we're going. And so it took us 13 months of extremely hard work and commitment on both sides. And after 13 months, Salomé was free of Meige Syndrome. She had healed, and I had a 6-month follow-up session with her, and it showed that she had complete healing of her Meige Syndrome.
I truly believe that I got a second chance on life. The minute that the muscle spasms receded, I could have conversations again, I could eat. I felt a measure of freedom that was absolutely astounding. I believe God led me to Dr. Steenkamp and to the SHIP treatment, and that this was part of my healing journey. The Salomé after Meige Syndrome is a very, very free person. I discovered and learned that I have a voice and that I'm worthy. I hope that my story will show others that there is hope. Never give up hope. There are so many possibilities. My journey is a testimony of that.